It still hasn't sunk in that we bought a house. Sometimes I walk up to this structure and I just think, wow, somebody really is letting us be here. It's pretty unbelievable. And I imagine it's like that for many homeowners the first time that they have a home. So we are now in Tachikawa, so welcome to Tachikawa. The closest station is walkable. We're about a 10-minute bike ride to Tachikawa and a 30-minute train ride to Shinjuku, which is like a hub of Tokyo, where you can kind of start your Tokyo adventure, or you can just stay in Shinjuku and have a wild night for sure. But we're not going anywhere. We're going to be showing you our house today because we've lived here for about 5 months, and I think it's gotten to the point of where we've got as much as we're gonna do right now. I don't think we're gonna do a whole lot more without like time passing and us really feeling comfortable in the house. So we're gonna show you the house. From the outside, the first thing I wanna show you is that to be a resident, you need to have this tarp. One of the neighbors, when we did our aisatsu, which is where you go around and talk to the neighbors, this was the first thing they talked to us about. And it is a net so that animals don't steal your garbage. So on Mondays and Thursdays, we put out burnable garbage, which could be like food stuffs, and you put it in the net so that the crows can't get in there. I think the crows can get in there. They seem sophisticated, but they haven't as of yet. This is our little intercom bot. Most places come with these. Usually they're a little closer to the door. I've noticed that people don't know how to use it at our house. No one is ever in front of this. They're always over here waiting for the door. So I never see them. And most of the time I just answer them from the window above. That's my office. And I will basically just tell them to wait from the window. This is our front door. And an interesting thing about doors here in Japan is that there's a double locking system. Number one, here's a lock. Number two, and you might think people are going around just locking one of them. Nah, they lock both of them. There are no serious like burglary problems here, but we're locking both of them.
Okay, before we get into the tour, I want to give a little bit of basic info so you kind of had a baseline of what it was that you were looking at. The house is a brand new house. It was built last year and into the beginning of this year. We moved in February or March.
Yeah, construction was completed in December and we moved in February.
And it is what they call in Japan a 3 LDK. The 3 stands for the number of bedrooms. The L stands for living, the D stands for dining, and the K stands for kitchen.
The D needs to change to a J for jitencha,
which
is what's in the living room.
You'll see that in a minute.
But or in the dining room.
That's basically the classification of how housing here works. A 3 LDK, 4 LDK, 1 LDK, 1 DK, 1K, they can change all the stuff around depending on the configuration of the house. So what we're working with is 3 bedrooms, living, dining, kitchen. Of course, there's toilets and things like that as well, but that's just kind of a given. The house is...
But it's not given as to how many you get.
True, yeah. And it should be to me, that's more important than D's or the K's. Like, how many T's are there, maybe? This is a 89.33 square meter house. So it's about 90 square meters. And the land area that it sits on is about 114 square meters. So the house takes up a pretty significant amount of that. It is a 2-story house, of course, so it's not, you know what I mean? Like, you see how that math could probably work out. Like,
and the land that wasn't used by the actual building has turned into our deck.
Which you will see in a minute.
Yeah.
The next thing people are going to wonder, like, what is the cost of the house? And the total loan amount, and it gets complicated to explain, and we will have another video linked down below that's going to go really deep into all of this stuff.
I'm excited about that.
To keep this as simple as possible, the total loan amount that we have is about 44 million yen. I think I said that number right.
Yes, you did. And I'm double checking. As
of the time we bought the house, that's about $390,000 USD. So that gives you an idea. That's what this house costs in the Tokyo reachable, commutable, suburban area of the Tokyo city. So if you were in, another big city. We're not in the center of the city, but we are commutable into it. And I think that context matters a lot about the cost of the actual house.
Yeah. What does that mean, like monthly?
Monthly, that means that we are paying 133,000 yen per month, which at the time of the loan was about $1,200 a month.
And we're saying this at the time of the loan because right now
the yen
is incredibly weak. So we just pay our stuff in. Actually, we can't pay this. We've been paying this in yen.
Yeah. But we could be taking money from our American. This gets complex.
Yes.
So point being is that that's what we were thinking of when we bought the house.
That's what we expected.
Now, because of the way that currency fluctuates, right now it's under $1,000 if you convert it to American. So it's even cheaper. And that $390,000, if we converted that right now, it's going to be dramatically lower.
Yeah, it's
because of how weak.
$350.
Yeah, because of how weak so it's like $40,000 difference, and it's 4 months because of the way that the currency flips around and stuff. So I think that is sort of gives people an idea of what to keep in their mind as we walk through the house and you see the rest of the video. You have anything to add?
We really like this house.
We do. All right, let's go.
You come into the house, you're in the genkan. Most Japanese living situations have a genkan. If you go into a structure that doesn't have a genkan in Japan, I can't imagine it. Where do I put my shoes? We're wearing our shoes inside. You're wearing your shoes inside? Oh, God. Genkans come with storage for your shoes. We never have enough storage. And we never have storage big enough for Eric's shoes, which are huge. But he has his own little spot here for his shoes. My shoes and other stuff go in this taller one. I've even got my rain boots in there. That's incredible. And I don't know why the people who built this house thought, yeah, we're definitely gonna put shelves up there. Who in their right mind is getting up here and getting stuff?
Yeah, those are just the right height. It's all good.
Only Eric Klein can get up there. So I don't know what's up there at all. I literally have never gone up there. There's a small footstool down there. I never use it. Even if I use that small footstool, I can't get up there. Yeah. Then we have just a hallway that it goes into the living room, but we're gonna stop here and go over to the bathroom. And we're trying really hard to make it so that you have a good understanding of what the house layout is. So we're taking it slow and going kind of room by room instead of wandering around aimlessly. So we've just come in the front door and we're now in the bathroom.
Hello.
This is actually pretty stunning. Tell them why.
Yeah, so this is a standard Japanese vanity. And the reason that this is awesome for us is because when we moved in, we had them do some renovations and some changes to things to make it the right height for somebody that's as big as I am. And as you can see, this backsplash area down here is really, really tall. Usually it's a quarter of that or something, or half at least. And what it does is it brings the mirror all down. So what I'll do is I'll bring you guys to my eye level. And you can see when I walk up, I can actually still see my face, which is not something that's happened in the last 10 years of living in Japan. So just having this elevated is just so nice because I don't have to be like this to do my makeup or whatever. So hella nice, very, very good improvement in life.
You make this makeup joke, but you pluck your eyebrows more than I do.
I do, you gotta keep those guys in check.
It's a very important note, and we need to publicly criticize someone who got in the shower today. He is a little soggy and is on timeout right now. D-Bot was a bad bot. But that brings us to the shower. I really like this shower. The shower is probably one of my favorite parts of the house because it's shockingly like a showroom shower. It's all from one company and everything just fits perfectly. Now, when we got our water turned on, the gas guy, because the gas is what heats the water here. The gas guy came in and he had to make sure that all of the water was heating in all of the house. He came to this structure and was like, the hell is this? What do? Homeboy, it's got a picture of the nozzle. You're gonna be fine. So our shower is just, you push it, on and off. And we also have a faucet right there. And at first I thought, oh, I'm never gonna use that. I use that, not every shower, but frequently. And this right here is how you adjust the temperature. And it gets to a maximum, and then you can push this button and keep blasting it. A maximum on heat. And these dials right here, they adjust the intensity. Let's watch. So we'll start at low. And it'll also make it so that you can lock it so it can't be used at all. So say you have a small child, you can lock them so they can't be used and your kid won't drown. I mean, that literally would be why. Anything else that's in here that I can't really think of?
The ceilings are really high in this room too.
Yes, it's Eric suitable. Honestly, I think that it's still too big for us because we're not big tub people, but this tub is actually big enough for Eric. So it's not necessarily a terrible thing if it's functional. My feet are really wet now.
I stepped on the robot a second ago by accident.
That's what you get, Deepa. So we're back in the hallway. Genkon's right over there. And we just have a hallway closet. And other people are probably like, I got a place to put my coats. We've never had a place to put our coats. Oh my God, look at this. I can walk into it, can put my arms out-ish. We also have been using it for random storage. This is like one of the areas of the house that's completely, we've abandoned planning about it because we're too busy. And whenever you want to plan for something here, you need to go to the home center. And the home center is an intense moment. Like, think about going to IKEA, but like, there's no instructions that you're taking home with you. You have to come up with all the instructions. So yeah, that is the hallway closet. It's a work in progress, but it also holds many a coat. And one thing that we forgot was the bathroom. Do you want to talk about the bathroom?
Yeah, I'll talk about the bathroom. That's cool. We sort of like, not scripted, but come up with like the dance. And we forgot to do the toilet room. So now I don't know what to say. So yeah, we've got a toilet room and it's got a toilet in it. And I love this about Japanese houses and just Japanese living areas in general is most of the time the toilet is separated from everything else. So that if somebody's in the shower and you need to use the restroom, like, you can still get to it. It just makes sense. And this is like the dirty area and that's the clean area. And I like that there's a separation between all of that. It is a normal Japanese toilet where when you flush it, you can like get some water here and you can like scrub your hands or whatever, and then we got a towel, yada yada yada. There's a electronic panel here on the wall that does washing of the bits, and the seat is heated, and like different flush levels and all these different things you can have on there. The bit washing is, I don't know how y'all are living without it. It's incredible. And one of my favorite things, and it has been for years, is the toilet paper roll thing. This is the same as it was when we moved into Japan in the first time, where you just pull it up and just drop it in, and that's how you replace it. So that's all very nice. I think this is set up nice. Got a little shelf where we're just putting like the, you know, the extra stuffs.
What's above you?
Oh yeah, what's above me? These are the stairs. They go upstairs. So like it doesn't impede on your lifestyle at all.
It's a very functional use of space, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Like, this could just be a closet that doesn't have anything in it, but this is the toilet room.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
And, like, even me, as tall as I am, like, going to use a toilet, I don't have to worry about hitting my head. So it's not, you don't even notice it, really. I don't even think about it. You were like, what's above you? And I was like, what? So this is, like, the entryway, right? And, like, that's what's all in the entryway and the appendages. Then we go into the living quarters, which is this. And this is the living room. And the living room has a big area over here that we just don't know what to do with. at this point. So my bike is here, and by the time you watch this video, Katie's bike will also probably be here because her bike was on order and it should arrive soon. So there's gonna be 2 bikes here that we have to figure out a way to store them a little bit cleaner than what we've got. And then you can see this is like where the actual entertaining goes on, you know, the TV area and whatnot.
And you have really nice lighting, but with all the windows open, you can't really tell how
it's kind of maybe
ambient it is. Oh, it's nothing compared to like nighttime.
When it's nighttime, it's like I've got like LED strips in the back here, and like I chose the color of the light bulbs for these plastic teeth that are down here. Like, it was all like, it just looks nice. It's nice and warm, and like that's kind of what I wanted to have. And got some nice speakers. These things are called Klitsch, the 5s. If you are unaware, they are dope. And how about, of course, if you've been with us for years, you know about at least this boy, Golden Balls. But we've also got Benny Tama, and they just kind of chill by the teeth lights. Big, important aspects of the house. And I thought about like maybe we should put them outside, but like for real, like it's more fun when you just hang out with them all the time. So
D-Bot roughed up Golden Balls today.
Yeah, D-Bot pushes
shoved him
around.
back in the tooth.
Yeah.
They must have had words.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's an entertainment center. There's video game stuff in there, and like there's drawers, and you know, it's just normal stuff. It's an IKEA thing. It looks fine. I like it. It's like clean. Eventually, we're gonna put some art up there that I'll get to in a minute. And then so like one of the cool things about the house in general, one of the things that sold us on it was just the fact of what you're about to see. But the first thing before we get into what you're gonna see, I wanna talk about what you're gonna hear. I would like you to listen right now. We'll be quiet. You might be able to hear a little bit of chirping and stuff, but once you go outside, it was unlocked. Once you go outside, it gets noisier.
Would you mind turning my shoes around?
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
You also have got a mosquito, I think, or something right on your face.
On my face? I was wondering where he went.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
We've been going in and out with the screens open, like testing all this, so bugs have come in. So as you can see and hear mostly is semis. You can hear cicadas. This will happen for 2 months, basically straight, unless it's raining or cold. You just hear them like this. And it's every year. It's not like a every 7-year thing. This will happen every single year. We didn't think about that when we moved here, but it is definitely, because we moved here in February, but now that we moved here, we're like, okay, well, this is a thing to get used to for sure. And I'm sort of coping with it because I'm like, that's just what nature is, so it's like easy to cope with, but it's still pretty noisy. Sometimes you can't hear your TV and stuff because they get so loud. It's just kind of, God, this is insane how loud this is. Past the semis, we have got a deck, and this is abnormal in Japan. Keep in mind, we are in central-ish Tokyo. You could call this, we're in Tokyo, but we're not in like the major city area. We're kind of in the suburban area of Tokyo, but we're still in Tokyo. But like to have a deck this big and then nature like backed up to you is super abnormal. And this was like a huge selling point on the house. It's not just like another house and another house and another house. It's like nature is there. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but we're fairly certain this will never be developed. So we don't ever have to worry about this turning into anything other than the trees that are here, which is really nice. Another, like, I don't know if this is strange. I felt like this is a little weird, but this is a privacy wall. And the neighbor's house, of course, is right here. And this like basically blocks their view from our area. And we checked with them before we put this thing up to make sure it was okay. And it's just kind of like, yeah, of course it's okay. Like, why would you ask that? Of course you can block my view. It's like your land or whatever. But to me, I don't know. It just felt like as an American, I was like, I don't know if that's unfriendly or whatever, but it's like privacy for us, it's privacy for them. It works for everybody. Wondering if I'm thinking or missing anything. I don't think I am. Just like, you know, we have a big deck. We haven't come up with anything to do with the deck really yet. We've got a table and chairs and stuff that we can set up, and we've eaten out here a couple times, but we haven't like utilized the deck to its fullest yet. Maybe at some point we'll barbecue or something out here. I don't know. Tell you what, it's pretty steamy. I keep seeing you waving, and I think you're trying to stop me, but you're waving at the reflections. So coming back into the living area, and this is the kitchen. So I mentioned earlier that we did some renovations, and one of the major things that we wanted to do when we moved into a place was have the counters for the kitchen raised, because they are typically like this for me. Like, it's so low because I'm tall. I'm 6'7" or about 2 meters tall. So like it's always been brutal for the last 10 years that we've been in Japan, like just like down like this, trying to cut things. I hated using the kitchen. I hated doing the dishes. I hated doing everything. But this one's not too bad, because like now I can actually stand like a real boy, and I can slice up my piment. Whoa, that's a lot of seeds. I can slice up my piments.
He's never chopped a piment.
That's my first piment slicing. Well, I've always had low counters, man. For reference, this is a standard Japanese counter height, and as you can see, chopping the piment here would not be as good. This is the artwork that I plan on hanging above the TV. We got to get a frame for it, but we've got Zamutli. This dude that's like local has a shop, and he just makes like character paintings like this. And we saw this, we just went in there and saw it, and we're like, yeah, that's a thing. I think it was like 3,000 yen or something like that. So we got Zamutli. I think that from there we'll let Kyde talk about the kitchen. So we're going to do a swip swap here.
All right, kitchen. I like that we pass it over to me, but we do equal amounts of cooking, honestly. And mine might take a little bit longer, but neither of us are like grilling anything or like using a recipe. So we're in the kitchen. First thing I'm going to show off so that I don't forget about it, and it can be forgotten, is the dungeon. We call this the dungeon, and it's just got a little hook here. There's an insulatory like box on the inside. You can basically put anything that you want to in here, but I put all of our picnic stuff and like extra drink goods. Like if somebody comes to the house and they leave something that we don't normally drink, we just chuck it down here. Or we got the ume shoe. This is the ume shoe layer. And you just drop it back down. And the dungeon is closed. So you have a little bit of extra storage. There's also one of these in the bathroom as well, but it goes straight down into the bottom of the house. It doesn't have a little basket, so that's kind of weird. The kitchen has a huge sink. Very happy about the huge
This
sink.
actually makes it look smaller than it actually is. You can take this away, and that's actually what the sink actually looks like.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a dishwasher. This is surprising. We found it to be a little bit small, but since there's only 2 of us, we don't make a whole lot of dishes. If there were 4 people living in this house, which I think you very much could have 4 people existing, like parents and children, that I don't know how they would be surviving with that.
Yeah, it's too small for that.
A 3-burner stove with a griddle thing that I have never used and hope to never use because I don't understand.
You made a fish in there one time, I think.
What?
Not this one, but a previous one.
Oh yeah, at a previous place. And I end up always like ruining it the first time I use it. So that's why I don't want to use it at all. And then we've got like big drawers like this of just random stuff. One thing I've noticed moving into a house or with a place that has more space, we don't have stuff to put in the space. We had to buy a bicycle to put it in the living room. Then over in Muttley Corner, we have all of our trash. And this has been kind of a delight of mine, is all the rules that come along with the trash. So let's go over those. The yellow bags actually are purchased from the city. So these say Tachikawa on them, and you cannot throw away your burnable trash unless you purchase these bags. They won't take it away. So you're kind of paying for the service of trash removal.
That's how they do the tax.
And yeah, so that's how the taxes are done with that. It happens differently in America where you pay it up front, but that's how it works here. We go when we purchase the bags, and then we're allowed to put away our trash or put it outside. The next one is plastic trash, and emphasis on clean plastic trash. This is generally clean, so we can put it in with the plastic, but if you have something that had like oily stuff on it, you can't put it in there. You have to put it into the burnable because it's just not recyclable and it's gross. So we have burnable, plastic, and then we get into your general like recyclables such as PET bottles, it's not been cans. There we go, cans, and then glass. And these generally go out once a week. We found out that the cans, which is what we generate the most of, go out every 2 weeks. So this will be slammed full by the time it needs to be put out again.
There's also cardboard and paper as well. Like
Cardboard, yes, and paper lives down here. This is a disaster. You have to take all of this trash and you put it into a little bundle. So like you'll stack it into a bag like this, and it needs to go out in a bag like this. There are a lot of rules to the trash, and it's very fun for people who like rules.
Katie's got this whole, like, look at this as like the trash schedule.
Yeah. So tomorrow, burnable will go out, and then plastic will go out, and then we can put our bottles out, and our sticks, and our batteries, and our spray bottles, and the paper can go out. So I need to sort that. And, oh man, is this week?
Yeah.
Hold on. And none of that's accurate.
We're all the way down there now.
Yeah, okay. I have to tell myself none of that I just said was accurate. Sometimes I put stuff outside that's wrong. I just put it out on the wrong day, and they nicely write me a lovely little note with a bunny on it, and it says, "Oh, you fucked up." Another cool thing that this kitchen had that I didn't know about is one, like, just a tray that has all of your appliances that go in and out. There's also like an electrical plug on the back there, so you don't have tons of cords up here on the counter. These produce steam. This produces steam, this produces steam, this produces heat. There is a gadget above here that has a fan built into it, and that fan will send out the steam so it doesn't damage any of your counter and gives you the opportunity to put your appliances away and have a cleaner look to your kitchen. At first I didn't know what it was, but I think it's really cool, and I'm very happy that we have that. The eyesore of the kitchen, poor little fridge. He would be fine if he didn't open in this direction. The kitchen's over here. This will be an upgrade in the future. Now, this is my old desk. Lots of videos happened in our old apartment, and I'm sure that my hospital desk, which was really useful, and still is, we use it at least once or twice a week down here in the living room. This is my old desk. He's so tiny now. We're gonna go upstairs and look at my new desk, because that was probably one of my happiest purchases. Standing over the toilet. And also the stairs do a hard U here. We have had people say that they can't take furniture upstairs. We've had to have people do it through the balcony in Eric's office to get furniture into the house, which has been fun to watch.
Yeah, or like for instance, like a mattress.
You can't.
Like it just doesn't work, and then because the height of this, you can't stand it, and then like you can't hook it.
You can't
like
hook
it. It doesn't get hooked, it gets stuck on the ceiling and stuff. So there's certain things that this is sort of a hassle for, but it hasn't stopped progress.
Taking a hard right at the stairs. This is my office. I didn't really know what to talk about in here. I mean, obviously I got a corner desk. Like, look who's the CEO now. Wow. I used to work at the hospital, but now I might own a hospital. I don't know. In general, this is one of the smallest rooms in the house, which is good for me because the bigger the room, the bigger the mess that I can create. We had originally thought that we would put our bed in here, and you might say a bedroom in the smallest room in the house, that's perfect for us. Like, we don't put a whole lot in the bedroom. You'll see the bedroom and you'll go, oh, okay, I get it. But the only reason the bed's not in here is because the door won't close with the bed in here. So that meant that this became my office, and I'm actually pretty happy for it because I like the dual windows, and it gave me the opportunity to have a corner desk. CEO. And just showing the closet to see what you get. I got this, and I'm an adult now. When you get drawers, that's when you're an adult.
They couldn't get that up the stairs.
Yeah, this had to come
over the balcony.
They had to hoist it over the balcony. And so, like an old dude, he was in his 70s, and his son moving it up here.
Well, they had me help.
I haven't had the chance to have my clothes actually lay all the way down. Lay all the way down? Or
Draped out?
Draped out, whatever. This is huge. My old closet was probably about this wide and definitely not as tall. So this is just, I don't have enough clothes to fill this out by any means, and I think that's a good thing. A little bit of storage up top, and that's all we've got.
Yeah, so if the door is opened, like...
And they have a little clip here that holds the door.
Oh no, open the door like halfway.
Halfway?
Like if it's like this.
Yes.
Yeah, like things just don't work with the bed. Like if the bed is in here, like the physics don't work. You can't put the bed anywhere in here and have the door still open all the way. So yeah, that was just sort of like okay, we're definitely not using this room.
Where are we going next?
Oh, I get to do both toilets.
Oh, sweet.
So this is a huge upgrade over every place we've ever lived before. We have 2 toilets. So if one person is using the toilet and the other person is Katie and can't hold it, then she doesn't have to go to the conveni. She can just go to the other toilet. It's really nice. You have no idea the peace of mind. But it's very similar to the other toilet room. It's just a little box. And it's exactly the same toilet with the washing thing in the back. And I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Sometimes at nighttime, I'm thirsty and I come up here and I flush this toilet. And I get a sip out of the toilet, which seems insane, but that's a clean water coming out of it. I'm drinking out of the toilet, I realize that. But
you come and announce this to me every time.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta sip out of the toilet. It was great. I kind of want to put like some sort of nozzle system that's like a little more like proper, like to get like have a cup up here or something, because there's no other water outlets upstairs because the shower area is downstairs, the vanity area is downstairs, and the kitchen is all downstairs. So this is the only water in or outlet that exists on the second floor. Other things that we have up here, a little window, another little like thing to hold some toilet paper and stuff. We've got some Godzilla toilet paper that I think we inherited from a friend of ours. It says like the 4 seasons of Godzilla on it.
I celebrate all of them.
And then we'll go down the hall here and we will be in my office, which is the biggest room of the bedroom areas. And it's almost like obscenely large how much room we have. Like, are you seeing this? I don't know what to do with this. Like, I thought about getting an electric drum set at some point, but that's like in the distant future at this point. Got too much other stuff to work on. But it's just like, wait, what do I, this is so much room in here. The cool thing about the so much room in here is it gives me a nice big wall over here, as you can see. This is my t-shirt collection. And I've designed this in a way that I can like take the t-shirts off and like wear them and then wash them and then of course put them back up. So this is constantly changing. Like it'll always look different because the shirts will go back up in different orders and stuff. So it's like artwork that's in flux or whatever, but functional artwork that you can wear. But also then like I have all these shirts that I kind of like into collecting shirts. So then like I can collect the shirts and they're just not spending time in the closet not looking cool. They're on my wall looking awesome. So yeah, this is something I've been thinking about for a really long time. This was a home center project where we ended up buying these bars and rigging it all up so that we could screw them all in and make it look like this. And I'm really happy with it. It's really awesome. I've also had the opportunity to hang my guitars on the wall for the first time since we moved to Japan, which is just so much nicer than having like guitar stands sit around and stuff. And just got some music stuff back here. I as well have a desk, and this is where I spend all my time editing all of our videos.
Your desk is a chump.
My desk is a bit of a chump, but my desk has a handle that your desk does not have. I can.
What, you got a manual desk? What is this garbage?
Yeah.
I think I need to put you to work. I'm the CEO.
So yeah, I've got a desk. It can go up into standing position, which is kind of nice. You can see that if you look outside, I have the view of the back of the house, which is really nice because it's just nice that it's like I'm looking at nature. However, if I'm in here with this opened and the bugs are going haywire, kind of like they are now, after you sit here for a while, it starts to be like, gosh, it's overwhelming. It's really noisy. Makes me want to put on like noise canceling headphones or something to try to cut that back. Something else that we didn't mention, and I'm going to mention it in this room because this is the last room that has this, when you move into a new house, like I don't know if we mentioned this house was new. They built this house and then we moved in. We're the first people to live here. The house doesn't come with aircon units typically, so we had to buy aircon units, and this is what an aircon unit in Japan is like. It's not like a central aircon thing in America where it's built into the walls. It's like this robot, and we have one in the living room, kitchen area. We have one in Katie's office, and we have one in here. So we have 3 of these, and the 3 of them together cost around $2,000 installed. So that was like an additional cost that we had to have, but we'll get into costs a little bit more here in a little bit. I don't know if I have anything else to say with this. It's just a balcony out here to hang laundry. It's nothing interesting. I think that's my, I gotta spin it around this way. Gotta remember the whole dance. I got a couple of closets. There's one here and one here. They're essentially the same. It's a disaster in here. I have not made this how I want it to be. I'm gonna buy something to put it in there to organize things a little bit better.
But finding the right perfect thing takes time, and I also don't want to be pressured into buying stuff I don't like when I've got years upon years
to figure it out.
For this to be the best for me.
And so there's one room left after this room, but also another room. So there's 2 more rooms, and one of the rooms is here. So we've got a loft. And it's just like a nice, easy to get down. Well, I can reach it. Katie's got to get some pole.
I have to get a pole.
Out. And I will show you guys what the loft looks like going up the steps. And it is a disaster right now of just boxes and just stuff that we put up here. This needs a lot of attention as well, but for the time being, it is all right. And it is not air conditioned. So it is fairly warm in here. This says it's like 32 and about 87 or 85% humidity. So it's like an oven, but that's the whole loft. It's really just storage. It's too low to stand. So you wouldn't want to like spend any time up there or anything. So that's fine. And that's the end of this room. Let's see, where did Katie go?
I followed the journey that we had set forth, and I've been waiting. 32 really isn't that bad. It has gotten up to the upper 40s in that room, but we recently covered, there's 2 little windows up there, and we recently covered those, and I think that's really what's keeping it down heat-wise.
It's also later in the day right now.
Okay, so we talked about our bedroom earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And we keep things very limited. The bedroom doesn't need a whole bunch of crap in it. I don't need a TV in here. Like, I'm going to do some sleeping and some focusing in here. That's it.
Focusing?
Focusing.
What does that mean? Is that code?
It's code. So we've got the bed, and only thing I really wanted to show was, my mom had asked me something, and yes, Mom, Banky's always there. She was shocked when I said that. She's like, is it falling apart? I was like, no, it's not falling apart. And other people might wonder what Banky is. Banky's just like a little silk-edged blanket, and I won't go any further into that. But Eric, this room just being very bare bones, finding the right perfect thing that you need. When we go to bed, we wanted to have night lights so that one person could go to bed and then the other person could come into the room without causing like a huge disturbance. So Eric found these night lights online that are just like, tap it and it turns on, and it also has a USB plug hooked into it, so we've got some extender bots that come out from the wall.
They glow in the dark. Did you know that?
These glow in the dark?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
I don't know if they get enough light to charge themselves, but I know they do.
These are my earplugs for the bugs. I can't sleep. They start at around, they do go to kind of bed. Like during the nighttime, semis, which is the name of these bugs, they go to bed, they are quiet, but when the sun comes up, they are at it. They are getting their freak on, and they are letting me know that they want to get their freak on.
Comes up, they're focusing.
They're focusing.
They come out about 4:30 in the morning.
Yes, 4:30 in the morning.
And
so
if you can, I'm going to spin around really quick. As you can see, the whole room, there's no aircon unit in this room because we sleep just with fans, and that's usually 99% of the time fine for us.
Wow. I just realized if we got one, that might jeopardize this system. And you might be wondering, what the hell are these for focusing? They're not for focusing. focus.
Well, I was saying that we didn't have aircon unit in here, so that means that this window typically is open, which is why the sound is dramatically louder. So if we had an aircon unit, we could keep the windows closed and keep the bugs a little quieter. But then you're paying the electricity fee, no bugs.
Do
it's
I care about my
complicated.
sleep or my money more? I've kind of made the choice. So this is a system that we came up with for hanging laundry. Because
This is exciting because
Eric
in Japan,
is fastidious. He is fastidious, and he likes to do the bed laundry. But our balcony isn't like, it just doesn't have enough space to do all of the bed laundry in one day. So we've made it so that we can put these out and hang the bedding in here with a couple of fans going. So that's what this string system is.
I'm fastidious.
Fastidious, yes.
I'll take that, I guess.
Let's wrap it back up.
The last thing, I knew, I was gonna say, the thing that's exciting about those is that we could put holes in the walls. We've never been able to do that in Japan. And it felt weird to get to do that for the first time. Like we're putting extracurricular holes in the walls, and that was what we did with it, so that this room can just be the drying room. And then we just put fans in here so it blows it all around.
Yeah.
And
being able to poke holes in the walls is kind of surprising. I did my first hole poke for my own personal thing the other day, and I realized, I was like, oh, so I'm committing to this. Like I'm doing this right now. It's happening. You had already done it with several other projects, but my first one was probably like a couple days ago, and yeah, it felt liberating. Oh, the closet. Got a half a closet. There's dead people in here. That's where we put all of our dead people.
So this is funny because we talked about how nice it was that the stairs were so well done in the bathroom downstairs. Mm-hmm. This is the opposite. This is where the stairs coming up are coming up right there. So that's where your head goes when you walk up the steps. So
I
you
opened
lose closet space.
to show someone, and they just laughed. They just completely laughed that half of the closet was gone. So this definitely couldn't be my clothing closet. It could be your clothing closet, but
yeah, probably.
Bedding and stuff in here is going well. I think the way that everything has fallen out as to where it will go, even though it's different than we imagined the house being, it's still pretty good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is the end of the tour. We're going to discuss a few things in a little bit.
Okay, so that's the whole tour. And now we have a couple of little things that we're going to add. But like I said earlier in this video, we have got a extensive video over on our other channel that if you're interested in a deep dive into how we bought the house and a deeper dive into the costs and everything, we're going to put all that over there. So check that out.
I think it's going to be an insane video.
Yeah,
we haven't shot it as of yet, but it will be ready for you when this is up.
Yeah, but if you're watching this, it's available. Go down and click the link in the description or click the link in the comments or wherever it is that I end up putting the link so that you can check that out. It's on a different channel. You won't get notified of it if you're subscribed to this specific channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to that channel too, because we put stuff up over there all the time. And
just a side note as to why that's on a different channel. Basically, if this video and the other video were there, they'd be competing for each other because they're going to get dropped at the same time. Yeah. And we want people to see the actual house and those who want to know more to go and see more without them battling each other.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole thing with the YouTube algorithm and stuff.
Thanks, YouTube.
However, I do want to touch on a little bit of the stuff that is applicable to what the average person is going to be curious about with like the house in Japan. And the first question almost everybody asks is how much did you put down? And what's interesting about Japanese loans is that sometimes you don't have to put anything down. Like all the costs for the sale get wound into the loan and you end up having to not put down any money. It can be cheaper to move into a house, buying a house or buying an apartment than renting.
Yeah.
So it depends on the system, but the way that we ended up doing it, we ended up putting about $5,000 of our own money into the house before we moved into it. And again, that was, how much is $380,000 or something, which is like the cost of the house for $5,000 in. Like that's like really, really low down payment money at the beginning of it. $390. And part of the reason is like, it gets complicated. We'll get into another video, but interest rates here are really, really low, like 1.2, 1.3, and it's complicated because we have two loans, but it's something like 1.6 or 7% or something once it gets like averaged out. And then loans here are also 35 years. So that's why the monthly payment is low, even though we had a low down payment, if that all makes sense. And there are bad sides and good sides to it. And again, we'll get into it in the other video. Other reoccurring costs that people might wonder about is, what about insurance for the house? It works out to be like about $900 a year, and that's for like flood and fire and earthquake, which is a big thing here. You have to have earthquake insurance. And with the earthquake insurance and the other insurance, we paid for 5 years of it, I believe, all in one go at the very beginning, because you get like slight discounts on if you pay for it up front as opposed to if you pay for it every year. And also, it's just like one less thing to worry about in the future. And since the down payment system was so low, we had some liquid cash left that we could just be like, okay, just pay for the insurance and be done with it. And if for some reason we sold the house before the term expires, you get a refund on what you had invested in.
You were getting way too far. You're
I'm going
jumping
too deep
into other video territory.
Okay.
But I also want to share a tidbit from other video territory.
Okay.
Other video is going to share so much information that's just random. But one of the things is that for the earthquake insurance, you will only see 50% of a return on that if there's a problem. And it's because it affects so many people at one time.
If there's a huge earthquake and your house falls over and they're like, okay, well, your house was worth $200,000 or whatever, they'll only give you $100,000 back. That's just how insurance works here.
For earthquakes.
For earthquakes. Like, if the house burns down, it's different. Yeah,
that's one of those little nuggets that we will share in other video.
As far as other things that you're going to have to worry about, taxes on the house, this is the one that we're a little murky on. We tried to find hard numbers in our documentation about all this, but we have a lot of documentation. And we think that it is around about the same as the insurance, about $900 a year for the house tax. However, we could be off on that, but I know that it's at least not a number so scary that we went, oh my God, we can't buy the house. Yeah. So it's a workable number, and we think it's around that, but that's the one number that we're the only one that we couldn't find like the hard number on when we were researching, talking about this last night. Other recurring costs, bills. People are going to wonder about bills. We've only been here for less than half a year, so we don't have a full year to average out, but I kind of eyeballed like what we had. And this has been a high electricity cost year for the whole world, like 2022.
Because like what you're being charged the per wattage,
has been high.
Whatever.
The whole world has seen this happen. So we had one bill that was like $300. And that's insane. But we've also had other bills that were under $100, and that was for gas and electric. So the gas things in the house are the stove and the heating of the water. Everything else is electric. So that's only 2 of us, and we only have 3 aircon units. We don't have 4. We don't run them all the time, that kind of thing.
If I knew that those showers were going to cost more, I probably would have lived it up like a little more in the moment. I wouldn't have used more gas or more water. No, but I would have been like, oh my gosh, this is the cream of the crop of the water. It's probably what I would have been doing, knowing we were spending so much.
We have a fiber internet line, which is like common. That's about $35 a month. And I think that's all the bills.
You hit the water?
Oh, yeah, and the water bill. Interestingly enough, we're billed for the water every 2 months.
And it's $40
$40 per month, not every 2 months.
Oh, okay.
So every 2 months I get a bill for like 9,000 yen or something like that. So it depends on where the yen is again, but it's around $40 a month for the water between the 2 of us, which I feel like is a little high, but I kind of take 2 showers a day usually, so that's probably a big portion of that. That is pretty much the whole packet. I mentioned earlier that it seems really cheap. And again, other video, we'll get into this. We'll go ham. But Japan is the only place in the world where property can appreciate in value depending on where it's at, but the building is guaranteed to depreciate in value. So that's why you have low buy-in costs and low interest rates to kind of balance all of that out, because you will lose money on the building as time progresses. So,
and when you go to sell that, you're basically just selling the land. You are not selling the building. And nobody wants your building.
You're kind
I am going to destroy this building.
You're kind of hoping that the land kind of at least paces at the same rate as the building goes down, so that kind of like just like nullifies itself. I know this sounds crazy to everybody else, but believe me, there's good things and bad things about the whole thing, which, like I said, we'll get into in the other video, which should be linked down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel too. That would be really That'd be good, so you don't miss other things. We have like this other series that we're doing right now where we're talking about old videos. We're rewatching our old videos on Twitch.
We're calling it Us Watching Us.
Us Watching
and
Us.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then if you don't get to watch them live on Twitch when we live stream them, which you should also check out, then we will put them on this other channel. So every week there should be a new episode of us watching videos of us from 10 years ago and kind of like reacting to it and giving commentary. That photo is amazing. He took a picture of it. I'll show you guys later. Oh, this is the Little Big Planet music, I think.
Yeah, this is still pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know that's me, but I also, I can remember that feeling of slowly sinking.
It's a good time. We enjoy that. And
Every Tuesday.
yeah, I think that's all I'm going to press right now. So like subscribe and like and do all those things. And then check out the other video if you're in for, I don't know how long that video is going to be. We haven't filmed it yet, but I suspect it's going to be longer than this one.
It's definitely going to be longer than this one. There's so much to talk about. We jumped through so many hoops, and we want to share all that with everybody.
Okay, let's go film it.
Okay.
We're going to the couch though. I don't want to sit on the floor for this one.
Okay.
But I might be drunk by the time we get down there.
Yep, me too.
An interesting thing about a new house in Japan is that when they are doing the construction, they use what I'm going to call is like a dwarf key, like a small key. It only goes so far into the lock. And they use that key so that the construction company can come in and do all the things that they need to do. But we've been given the long key, and once you put this in, it means that the construction people can't come in anymore. We've been calling this popping the house's cherry. So we're gonna do that right now. And we've actually been living for a while here without locking the door. But we're going on vacation today, so do you think it's gonna feel like something?
Yeah, I think it's going to like click and push something into the wall or something, or into the lock.
I'm pushing. It didn't really feel...
That's the first locking and unlocking we've done, and we've been here like 3 months.
Alright, let's see what it feels like when it's locked. I've never been able not to get in. I don't like this feeling.
Maybe it's the bottom one?
Okay. Another thing about Japan, there's dual locks. And every time I watch somebody else come out of their house, I always, and they go to lock the top one, I see if they lock the bottom one. And the majority of people lock the bottom one too. Who's like, yeah, the second one's gonna keep them out? I just really don't understand. All right, here we go. Nothing. It really didn't feel significant at all. It's a good thing that we worked on that. So either it's just that it's really smooth and you don't notice it, or but now no construction people could get in. They could have been coming here all they wanted. All they wanted.